Hey everyone, it's Kyle from Cool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the long-awaited and long overdue Super 7 Cheetara. For a place to get all your collectibles, click the link in the description below to head on over to Big Bad Toy Store. They ship worldwide, so definitely check them out. Alright, if you thought the previous Tigra had a long and troublesome path to release, well this Cheetara obviously had an even worse path. But I guess overall the final results are, compared to the previous figures, pretty much on par. So I guess overall I'm not too unhappy with the release, but the overall path to the release, I think Super 7 probably did have a whole bunch of lessons learnt from that. But we'll get to that in a second as we go through the review. But as you can see, she does come with quite a few accessories, and there was a bonus, I guess, to smooth things over with collectors that have waited, I think, almost 2 or 3 years for this figure to release since the promotional photos. So I'll just get her out of the way for a second there and just concentrate on the accessories. It does come with this massive translucent plastic flame, which I think you're meant to attach to the end of her staff. And to be honest, pretty much every single accessory that comes with Cheetara here, I cannot recall at all from the cartoon except for her staff. And I can't actually remember where this flame came from, and whether or not she used it or if it was just some sort of after effect in the animation, but I guess I can look it up on YouTube. But it is pretty heavy, so I'm not sure how useful it will be, but I don't know, people might find it useful for other things in their collection, like I don't know if you've got Transformers Masterpiece figures or other sort of SH Figure Arts figures, there might be some more useful intent for that. These other two does come with this mirror, which is fairly nicely painted and styled on the back there. I do like the sharpness of the line there and the paint application, and it does come with that sort of foiled front for that mirror look. And it comes with this, I don't know if this is a flute or a slingshot or something, I can't remember what this is, but it looks like it's some sort of musical instrument based on the tip there, so maybe she blows into it somehow, but I'm never going to use that. And then it comes with these two, I don't know if they're pendants or something like that. It looks like a thing that you might open for a photo or something like that, but there's nothing in there, so I'm not sure if this is some magical device, but if you do remember what it is, let me know in the comments below, because I have no idea what that is. It comes with her little bow staff that I think you can fit into her gauntlet on her forearm, but again I'll be just using the main staff. Then it comes with a whole bunch of hands. I think there's 6 swap out hands altogether. You get the typical clawing hands, which are quite nice. Nothing too much to write home about in the paint application. They're mostly just unpainted plastic, I think, with just a little bit of paint on the top of her hands there. Then you get the fists I've already swapped out for the a couple of the other hands, and then you get the sort of straight running or standing hands. You did get 2 swap out head sculpts. I've already swapped it out for the one that has the hair flowing a little bit more, to give that sort of stylized look. This one is the standard head sculpt, which is pretty nice actually. It doesn't look as good as the prototype or the promotional photos that had a bit more of a matte finish, very similar to the Tigra promotional photos that I think overall had a better paint application and style. But in hand, the paint application is pretty sharp on the sort of facial coloring there, and the lips and the eyes are pretty spot on for this one. In this scale, eyes can go wrong pretty much in like the Black series and a few others, so I think they've done a pretty good job there. And the hair is a sort of softish bendable plastic, so you can sort of style it and get it out of the way if you want to rotate her head and so on. But overall that's pretty good. The extra bonus was this head sculpt, which is the same head sculpt but with glow in the dark eyes. I haven't actually tested them out. I did try it just before in the palm of my hand, but I'm not sure if you need UV or something like that. It didn't seem to work too well. But it would have been nice if they had this in a sort of an alternate facial expression or something like that. A bit more action oriented, but I guess they're all pretty much the same facial expression. But that's pretty much it on the accessories. I'll just grab her and give you guys a closer look at the actual figure. Alright, so here she is. I think overall she looks pretty damn good. There were a few grumblings about the waist, but I think the proportion wise, I think they've actually done a pretty good job. I don't think they look overly big or anything like that. I think even from the rear and so on, I think they've done a pretty good job. And I do like the sort of separation at the chest there, so you can have that rotation. So I've just got to set it up in that my attempt at the classic cartoon opening pose where she's finished spinning the staff. So I do like that. She's got some pretty good posability. One thing I didn't like straight out of the packaging, it does come with this plastic sheet across the torso there that was meant to protect it, I guess. But in the end, it looks like it's actually made some indentations into the plastic. So if you can see a horizontal line there, a couple of streaks there. So it has damaged the figure a little bit, which is a shame. I'm not sure if you can dip it into some hot water and rectify that, but I did actually have to dip her in hot water to loosen up one of the hips here. The articulation, you can get it out quite far, almost 90 degrees to the side, but you just need to be careful of that joint in there. The joints, I did see, especially on the knees as well, there is a bit of a stress on there. So for the knees, they're not exactly easy to bend. You need to almost have a force that way, and then sort of try and push it, and then they'll sort of give like that. But otherwise, the joint inside the knee, I can see a bit of stress in that, the plastic sort of appearing a little bit whiter. So just to be very careful there, just in case you sort of snap it off. But the arms sort of go out fairly well. They're only single jointed elbows, but they do the job for the most part. And then you get a bit of articulation in the wrist there as well, and the head. I do like the wind blowing sort of head sculpt like that, so it gives a bit more dynamism on the in the display. And I think with her holding the staff there, it does look pretty good. I do like the sort of gold paint app on the staff, which is nice. The ankles, I was a bit worried that there was no rocking action, but the way that I got around that, you do need to sort of bend them down and then sort of rotate them around, and then you can get that sort of ankle rocking stance there, so she doesn't look like she's splayed out, and she actually has her feet flat on the ground, so that suits the pose much better. But overall, that's pretty much it. I might just grab the others in the cast and give you guys a side-by-side to finish off the review. Hold on. So here they are side by side, the core cast with Tigra, Cheetara, Lino and Panthro. I'm not sure if they're ever going to release Wily Kid and Wily Cat, but they're probably the only other figures apart from mumm-ra that I'll get in this series. I haven't seen what they've got in their upcoming lines, but overall I think the scale, they've done a pretty good job. She's obviously just a tad shorter, which I think is in line with the original cartoon. And overall, even despite the sort of paint application issues with Tigra and Cheetara, overall together they do look like a pretty awesome team. So I'm definitely happy to finally have another one of my favorite cartoons from the 80s as a kid growing up in the collection. So the only other ones that I'm waiting on now are the Super 7 Silverhawks. Hopefully they turn out okay. And I do also have the Storm collectibles. I think it's Mark. I can't remember if it's Mark or Jason from the first release of their Battle of the Planets or Gatchaman figures. So hopefully they turn out pretty good too. But Storm, I think, in general, probably much better in terms of quality and paint application and so on. And I guess that's expected for almost double the price, if not more. So for these, around the $40 to $50 mark US, I think they're pretty damn good. So if you're a fan of the 80s cartoons, I definitely think you should pick these up. Despite their sort of ongoing schedule and QC issues, but I guess with Cheetara, not too many QC issues. So that's, I guess, a good thing that they've got going, and hopefully they can continue that in their upcoming releases. But that's pretty much it. Hope you like that review, and can like and subscribe. I've got a few things more coming up later in the year, but probably not for the next month or so, I think. So I do need to check my pre-orders. I do have, I think, the Kotobukiya Morrigan Bishojo statue coming up next, and maybe a couple of other 1/6 scales. So hopefully you can stick around for that. But until then, thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.